looking at here? We're looking at the Bonny Doon Syrah from Bonny Doon Syrah, $40 US. Tell me a little bit about this. This is something I've never had before, so I'm excited about this.
Yeah. Bonny Doon Syrah vineyard is arguably the best Syrah vineyard in California. It's certainly the coolest in a strictly climatic sense.
And in like a rad way as well. They're just cool people.
They are cool people. But it's a very special vineyard. You get more what I think of as authentic Syrah character in Bonny Doon Syrah vineyard than in any other vineyard I've ever experienced. You get real textbook Syrah. You get bacon fat, you get anise, you get all these pepper, white pepper, all those wonderful things.
If I can get bacon fat, I'm almost always in.
Okay, check it
I'm
out.
all
check
in.
it out.
All in. Like I've got bullets.
Yeah.
You know, just
check it out.
All right. Let's give it a snippy sniff. Yeah, I mean, you know, for me, anytime I can get a little leather and a little, you know, again, slight bacon fat, not as much as maybe I'll see it on the palate, tons of pepper. I mean, white and black pepper for days on this nose, which are always two characteristics that I love about Syrah as well. What I love about this on the nose right at the top is it's not over the top. It doesn't come across like a massive fruit bomb. Not over oaked. You know,
Right.
The oak monster scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And anytime I get that much oak on a wine, I'm pretty much out. And it's great to see on the nose, at least, not a lot of those characteristics. What is the treatment? How do you? I mean, I'm assuming there's oak. You know, you're putting this in oak.
But we age the wine in puncheons rather than barrels. So these are double-sized barrels.
Yep.
500 liter.
And are they usually, you know, brand new, first year, second year? What's the mix breakdown? Do you remember?
Well, yeah, sort of. Maybe 20% new oak. So average
great.
is about 2-3 years.
Great. You know, to me, this whole 100% new oak thing is disastrous.
Yeah. I mean, the same.
It's like makeup.
Yeah.
Give me pure beauty.
People who think of oak as a primary flavor in wine are the same ones who think of ketchup as a vegetable. It's a condiment. It's not a major food group.
I totally agree. Let's give it a whirl. You drank it?
Mm-hmm.
I really like this.
Good, thanks.
I like this a lot. This is by far my favorite wine of the bunch. Now, that is because of the obnoxious balance this wine is bringing to the table. It's nice to see, you know, you talk about balance. I mean, you know, I've said it in front of winemakers on the show, and you know it. So many people love to talk about balance, and then they give you something that's 15.7 with, you know, so much fruit and oak, you don't know what to do yourself. This has, you know, you can taste the land. I mean, you can taste the dirt. You know, it's almost like a little fertilizer action, which I like quite a bit. I like you know, just that whole like fertilizer flavor component. But there's great fruit, but it's sour. You know, I like sour cherries. I like sour fruit in my Syrah a lot of times. Not sour and negatives. You know what I mean? Just has that great balance of fruit and tannins. You know, which always represents to me a nice little like sour cherry component. It's very lush too, and awfully gamey. Almost like a venison component. I feel like I bit a deer's ass. You know what I mean, Randall?
No.
Okay. Come on. A little bit.
A little bit.
Okay,
I do.
good. What are you getting on this wine?
Smoke and mirrors. No, actually, just smoked meat. I mean, there's a real savory umami character to it. Get the bacon fat. I do get the cherries. I get olives. I get a lot of black olive in it. Yeah,
I do. You know what? That's a great call. I do as well. You know, this to me is a much more old world play than the last wine, which is so on my palate.
I think they're both. I think they're both old world. And by the way, if somebody wants to be really nice to me, they say, "This is really old world wine, Randall. This is like, I don't know how you did it, but it just tastes just like a European wine."
To me, the you know, cigar is definitely has character. If I was to taste it, I would think it's a little bit more of a New World wine. I would hurt your feelings in that scenario. To me, this Syrah would baffle me. I would start getting into crazy senses of like, God, the fruit is so pure, and it's got to be, you know, American. It's definitely not Australian. Is this a, you know, to me, I would start thinking warmer vintage Rhone. You know, so I'd be like, is this an 03? Yeah,
03,
yeah. You know, I'd be like, is this an exactly? That's exactly. So to me. And especially when you see Syrah, and Bonny Doon Syrah, I mean, I agree with you. I love the vineyard, and it is cool climate, but there's a lot of people who've put out overblown monsters from here. I mean, a lot of people, they've actually, in my opinion, ruined the brand. You know, when I think of the vineyard, you know, you've kind of reminded me, because I was there, you know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, I think of it as a place that puts out fruit bombs. You know, because there's a lot of producers that have really put out massive over-oaked fruit bomb type Syrah. So this is, to me, a really big play. A lot of you know that I'm addicted to the Rhone Valley. And to me, I'm very, you know what? I go in with preconceived notions just like anybody else. I'm very caught off guard by this wine.
Good.
In a very positive way.
Good.
I mean it.
Could do worse. Could be worse.
It's really neat. This is a really good wine.
Thanks.
This is really good.
I'll tell you a really funny story,
Please.
Gary. So I was selling this wine.
Story time.
Yeah. I was in San Francisco in the Bay Area, and you know, the Bay Area is like very hip, and the sommeliers are like just too hip.
They think they're the shit.
Yeah, they're too hip for anyone.
We should arm wrestle them.
Yeah. So I mean, they're great. They have European palates, and they're very.
Be careful. Be careful, Randall. These guys are important.
They're very sophisticated. I completely love them, and
they're the best.
They are the best. So they're saying, you know, Randall, nice wine, really delicious wine, good job, but you know, it's like a little concentrated. It's like maybe a little over extracted, you know, but lovely wine, lovely wine.
And they're doing this out of respect.
Out of respect. They're very respectful.
Because behind your back, they're like, did you taste the Grahm stuff? That stuff is way over the top.
Well, no, they were trying to say it in a gentle way. Like, it's a little over the top. Yep. So like maybe a little too concentrated. Yep. So then I go down to Southern California, like literally the next week, and they say, you know, Randall, good job on the wine, but like, couldn't you like punch it up a little bit?
Sure. I mean, that's the scene. I mean, you've got a lot of different characters out there, but this is the beauty, right? I mean, everybody has a different palate. You know, we definitely are. You know, what's kind of neat now, and you probably like this. We are probably in an era, at least from what I've seen. You've been doing it longer than I have. We're in a very nice era, in my opinion. Though we do have a little bit more of a debate going on. There are people, you know, and of course, I think people that are professional somms and all over the country, master somms, and people like myself, people that are into the scene, we want to talk a little bit more about the balance, the overblown stuff. As a matter of fact, I've been noticing my own palate gravitating back a little bit to the fruit bombs. Just a hair. Just because I've been off them for 36 to 48 months now, and all of a sudden, you know, I'll have a Martinelli Jackass Hill Zin. Why not? I'm pissed. I need some alcohol. I want to punch me in the face just to mix it up. You know, you go back. It's a seesaw. The palate becomes a very interesting seesaw. But we finally have a situation where I think people are really debating a little bit, and it goes back and forth. And God, we really, you know, we had an era just, you know, we're just getting out of it. I would say mid '90s to 2000 or so, where people were just drinking bomb after bomb after bomb.
Well, I would say that the bombs away. I mean, we don't have bombs away yet. I mean, they're still making bombs.
Oh, there's plenty of bombs.
Yeah.
There's plenty of bombs, but there was a period where every single wine drinker that I sold to only wanted bombs.
Right.
Heavy Napa Valley oak cabs. Give me the Australian Shiraz from Barossa that, you know, and Zins were off the charts, and it became like who can get higher alcohols.
Right.
And you know, we've definitely seen a balancing act, and we've seen people finally gravitate towards white wine a little bit.
Yeah, nice.
It's about time people understand that white wine is serious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's stupid that people legitimately feel that they have to drink red wine to be serious.
You know, Gary, the point you make of this is that it's not one or the other, and you know, there have been some interesting studies that have shown that if you like rich wines and powerful wines, it doesn't mean that you hate more elegant wines. You can actually love them both. And
go figure.
Yeah, under different circumstances, they're both actually can give pleasure.
What have you been drinking yourself personally lately? Is there anything that's on the radar? Anything that's really catching your attention these days?
It's kind of the usual stuff. I drink a lot of Cornas. I'm kind of a Cornas guy. Mm-hmm. And German wine. I'm a Riesling guy. I just can't get enough Riesling. So and a Barolo guy. And a Burgundy guy.
Have you drank any of the wines from Baja California, Mexico?
I've not.
You need to.
I've not.
I'm
told they're very good.
You need to. Yeah. I'm completely baffled by the potential of this area. I'm excited.
What do you like from Baja?
You know, a lot of the Tempranillo-based wines have shown very well. To me, you know what's funny about them? You know, and I had 5 or 6 not too long ago. They're wines that really show, you know, back to the balance world. You know, they're wines. They kind of remind me of your Syrah a little bit here, where you know you could taste it's like, you know what? It's like that 7-year-old. It's like Alex P. Keaton. Do you know who Alex P. Keaton is?
No.
Okay, there was a show in the 80s called Family Ties, and Michael J. Fox
Yeah.
played this character, Alex P. Keaton, and he was like 9, but he was like this big Republican and he wore a tie to school. It's in 2nd grade. That's kind of how I look at those wines. You can tell they're youthful and like it's a new area and it's warm climate, but there's a complexity and a maturity to the wines that you'd never expect. And that's what's making me so fascinated by them. And I think they're still feeling out their way. It was a very interesting area 100 years ago. There was a big, believe it or not, which is my heritage, a Russian community that went down there, started doing like the dessert wines and some of that, Ukrainian, Georgian kind of love down there. And they have a pretty interesting, long-lasting tradition there. And so I'm going to actually check them out this year. So,
by the way, are you doing anything with Georgian wines?
We do sell some. For me, they're interesting. I mean, I just haven't done enough homework, to be honest with you. I mean, I've drank them. I think I'm probably swayed by the fact that when I go to these Russian parties and everybody just gets hammered on them and like the ceramic bottles, they just like smash them over their head when they're done. And it gets a little wild. So, they mix it with their Grey Goose. It gets really interesting. Great. Let's talk about this. This is something I also have never had. What is this right here we've got?
This is
$30 US.
This is a dessert wine called Le Vol des Anges, and it's from the...
What is it a blend of? I don't see it back here.
It's 100% Roussanne.
Really?
Botrytis Roussanne. Naturally occurring botrytis.
Hence the $30 price point, because Roussanne gets more expensive and,
Well, botrytis is kind of an expensive proposition.
Sure.
We have to pick it 4 or 5 times to get the concentration of botrytis we need.
You've really did some serious damage through the years in the dessert wine field.
Yeah,
I mean, there was that one time where your, dessert wine, the $13 one, was the only thing we sold in the store. I mean, that was a big brand for you at one point, huh?
Muscat Vin de Glacier.
Yeah, I mean, that was insanity. People were addicted.
It was ubiquitous.
It was a little crack cocaine-ish.
Yeah. Great. Good for us.
Nice. So, tell me the process here. So obviously, you're a Rhone head. You wanted to get into this kind of action a little bit?
Right. So, in other words, I wanted to make a dessert wine from Rhone grapes.
That's great.
And so, what am I going to do? I thought initially I thought Vin de Paille.
Sure.
Which is a classic. Yeah.
But
went out to the vineyard and noticed there was like a ton of botrytis. Actually, about 20 tons of botrytis. And I thought, well, I don't need to dry these grapes, but they're naturally doing it themselves. So we went with it, and I adore this wine. I adore it.
Does that say Beeswax Vineyard?
Beeswax is the name of the vineyard. Yes.
What's the backstory behind that?
I have no idea.
No clue.
No, but weirdly, the wine smells like beeswax. Roussanne smells like beeswax to me. There's a honeyed character.
Tons of honey.
Not just from the botrytis, but from the grape itself. There's a honey.
It also has like a smoked apricot thing. Like, I started picking up smoked apricots years ago, and so then, like, the couple times, I have, like, a bonfire or, like, a tailgate or something, I throw some apricots on there and just, like, started, like, trying to really get that down. So if you've never barbecued apricots, huge opportunity to pick up a sense that you find in a lot of different dessert wines, and it really comes through.
But apricot is definitely a botrytis character.
Yeah, definitely no question.
And
there's a little peach fuzz action going on here as well. Yeah. There's definitely a peachiness.
Barbecued peaches, I think, is the way to go.
I've never done that. You've done that?
Killer.
Yeah? We'll do that at the Jets-Chiefs game. Are you a football fan?
No.
That's a mistake. Let's give this a whirl.
I'm good.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Dessert wine, as all the viewers know, I think is by far the hardest thing to score. Everybody overscores them because we all have sweet tooths at some level. I like this. It's not too sticky, which I appreciate on the palate. I think a lot of people overdo it and you almost like lose the sense. You might as well just go, add a little vodka to some honey and just drink that. Yeah. And so to me, there's a solid balance on this. I get a lot of pears, actually, on the back end flavor, which is kind of neat.
Pear and quince are really good descriptors.
Quince is delicious, by the way, huh?
Yeah.
Do you just scoop it with your finger?
No, I do quince paste. I love quince.
And then you put on the cheese. You go classic. No finger.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay. What else do you get in this one? What really attracts you to this wine? Anything specific?
Well, I agree. It's sweet, but it's not treacly. It's not oversweet. Not cloying. I like the astringency. The astringency is a nice foil to the sweetness.
I got to tell you, what's kind of ironic about this wine? It gives me Sauterne-like feeling at some level. I don't know exactly why I feel that so much. Obviously, different grapes, but I feel just on, I guess maybe it's weight and its texture in my mouth. Less on the flavor, because obviously I'm getting different characteristics than I usually get from Semillon or Sauvignon Blanc, but there's a Sauterne-like feel to this.
Yeah, I don't get
Why?
that. I don't get the amount of botrytis and kind of lowish acid.
Yeah, it's the low acid probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's not as volatile as Sauterne. What kills me about Sauterne is the sulfur levels. The sulfur levels are murder, and we really try to keep that under control.
Under wraps.
That's one of the things that I really like about this wine is the sulfur is like very
chill.
Yeah.
This is a very good one. I mean, to me, the Syrah stole the show. I was completely blown away by the Syrah. Obviously, this stuff is something everybody's going to like at some level. I think the Albariño is a very interesting play. If you really understand what you know or like about Albariño and you know the acid hits you a little high, very interesting. To me, this is something I got to wrap my head around. I'm going to kind of take a bottle for myself and dissect it because I want to. It's very curious to me.
Yeah. Might I suggest chilling? Just like put it in the fridge for about 45 minutes and give it a whirl.
This is awesome.
Good.
You want to have anything? What's that?
Ingredients. Oh, right. Thank you. One of the things is we forgot to
the
talk
brains
about,
of the Operation Save the Day.
Yeah, the brains of the Operation Save the Day.
Go ahead.
One of the initiatives we took was to indicate the ingredients on the label, and we're doing this with all of our wines. We're actually disclosing
you're really looking to screw people up.
Oh yeah,
I love it. I love where you're going with this. No, but I mean it. This is something that I believe everybody should be doing. Nobody wants to do. I understand.
Yep.
I'm not confused why. There's no secret. Don't get scared. Keep drinking wine. It's not like there's poison in it. But
generally not. Generally we don't.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Really, I did not notice that.
Yeah. So we kind of created the somewhat arbitrary distinction between ingredients and materials that are used in the production of the wine. So in other words, ingredients are things that actually stay in the wine after the wine is made, things that have touched the wine like oak chips.
Is this, now you haven't done any other wines, is this where you're going?
Well, these are older vintages.
Right,
so,
I know,
yeah,
that's why I'm asking. Are you going there?
It's actually on the Boulders
we're going there with all of our wines. So everything after 07, everything will have ingredient labeling.
You're going to become very popular once again, my friend.
I hope so.
Question of the day. Every guest that's on Wine Library TV gets to ask the Maniacs the question of the day. This can be about anything in the world. Music, life, wine, sports, whatever you want. Fire away, Randall. What is the question of the day?
Oh, my God.
On the spot is so delicious. It's like drinking beautiful dessert wine from the bottle.
Oh, my gosh. Everything I want to know, I just Google it and call it a day.
Well, here you have tens of thousands of wine fans watching this show.
Yeah.
Get a sense of a pulse of the people that watch video blog wine shows on the internet. What would you like to ask them? Maybe you can ask them, how awesome I am, or, what's their favorite bird. You can ask them what's the worst wine they've ever had.
Oh, my gosh.
What did they think of you before the show? Have they ever had one of your wines?
Oh, yeah, I guess, one of the problems is you never see yourself clearly. You always have this illusion about who you are.
Which is always like you're the greatest.
You're the greatest or the worst or whatever, but
greatest.
you never really know who you are. And I'm really interested in knowing how many people really understand what has happened to Bonny Doon, whether there's really been a significant change. What is their image of Bonny? Do they think it's kind of this marketing shtick sort of factory, or do they get that we're really truly committed to making serious wines and soulful wines? I just don't know if that's the case.
And also, please check out their ad in the next Wine Spectator. It is one of the more awesome things I've seen in the wine industry in a long time.
It's pretty funny.
I think that's going to be really, really worth their time. This was a sincere pleasure of mine.
My pleasure.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Gary.
You, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world. Hopefully as much, or maybe just even if we're a hair, as much as this guy changed it.